Alright, no intro today, folks. Gonna get straight into this. Now, before I say this, I don't usually cover what's happening in the Middle East, okay? I rarely cover it. And I had to say, this channel doesn't cover that either. This first channel doesn't cover that either. Even though the second channel covers it a bit, but I rarely cover it. This channel is all about gaming. And gaming is a form of escapism.
Gamers really want war with Iran, which seems out of place and has no connection to the gaming world. But when you look at the history of gaming and its connection to government propaganda, advertisement, and just overall patriotism, you kind of realize there is a deep connection between the two arguments, the two ideals, I would say. And now that I'm seeing on social media a bunch of gamers, or at least prominent gaming influencers coming out, talking about this discussion with Iran and America and other countries, it's coming up more often than not that there's a series of information wars happening in the gaming industry, pushing for ideological concepts outside of what gamers are there for initially, which is just to have fun playing games.
Oh, which reminds me, I'm gonna be uploading another video probably tonight during your dinner time. I'm probably gonna at least release this gaming let's play. And I know some of you will say, yes, gaming let's play is saturated, but think about that for a second. You guys want to escape or perhaps see escapism? Because I know for a fact that war content burnout or war content fatigue is a thing. I think I've checked it when I was researching this, but I do check it on ChatGPT, and it did say there is called war content burnout or war content fatigue, I believe it will say. Yes, it could get traction early on, but then interest will slowly dies down, and that's when small creators can capitalize on that. Gaming is a form of escapism and has nothing to do with what's happening in the real world. Many gamers just want to escape from reality. They don't want to see anything that involves reality. I mean, take a look with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, despite we see the word war or anything, however, this is taking place in the futuristic post-apocalyptic universe. Think about it for a second. The future. I mean, any of us will not not any of us is going to live through the settings of Stellar Blade. I know I won't live through it, or I won't be alive to see it.
We always talk about what's happening on the progressive side with information warfare, with a push of changing the ideals and overall philosophies of the gamers, but we have to look at it on the other end of the spectrum, the ultra-conservative and aggressive push for warfare. And I think that's what I saw bleed through this week while I was watching social media, and a lot of gamers pushing out posts talking about the victory in Iran. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Is that a video game you're talking about called Victory in Iran? But no, we see a lot of social media influencers talking about the great feats that are happening in Iran. And I'm wondering, like, what is this coming from? And it kind of harkens back to the things we've been seeing these past few years in the gaming industry when it came to the progressive influences in the gaming industry that are pushing these ideological trends that have nothing to do with the gaming industry in general. And I think that's what I saw with the connection to the wars that are happening outside of the gaming.
I think there's something else though when it comes to YouTube. The view count for most small creators probably goes down. Just now, my second channel, one of my recent video, just got what, less than 20 or something? For the record, I do edit my videos, okay? I make it transformative. I post it daily, okay? I'm not like when I first started, I just spam upload whatever I want to, record and then upload without editing. Now I do edit. I edit most of my video. And I edit alone. Nobody helped me. I don't have an editor. And for the record, yes, and I know I'm not alone on this one. I know some small creators who doesn't cover the Israel-Iran war. They're probably getting less views, unless of course they manage to diversify. But even then, the view counts, or in this case the trends, goes all the way to that war. And it's not something that no small creators can do about it. But they know it's temporary. They have to trust the process, which I always trust the process.
In the real world, we're seeing dots connected within the gaming sphere moving in lock and step with political ideologies. And that kind of got me thinking, like, okay, there is connections here that are happening right now where we're seeing ideological pushes on both sides of the political spectrum happening in the gaming sphere, where there are people pushing these ideas on both sides of the aisle, where war is a predominantly ideological trend on the side that is opposed to the progressive ideals that we've been seeing, focused on gender racial issues. On the opposite end, the same people that are saying we don't want to see gender racial issues in gaming are coming out here and saying these people are God's people and we must go to war with Iran to protect the sacred vow to a foreign country. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
First off, Wagner, what happened? Did you just cut something out? Because I noticed you cut something out when you say something out. Did you guys notice that? I don't know what happened. You know what? Let's check that one more time.
Issues in
Let's see
gaming
this.
are coming out here and saying
Either that or perhaps it's hard for him to change tab or anything. That's just my opinion, okay?
these people are God's people and we must go to war with Iran to protect the sacred vow to a foreign country. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And this is, of course, is coming from Melanie Mack's post. She's a big influencer, specifically around Tomb Raider. She's against all the progressive trends that we see in gaming when it comes down to racial gender issues. But I think this is the issue where I saw brought up and I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of out of left field where we're just talking about war with Iran now. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a trend I've been seeing with a lot of people, saber rattling this need to go to war with a foreign country. And I think this is a similar thing that I saw during the situation after 9/11, where we had prominent influencers across the world saber rattling to go to war with Iraq, when I was thinking, okay, they had nothing to do with the situation with 9/11. But of course, depending on your political taste, you may not agree, but I'm thinking I'm seeing similar shadows of the same thing happening in the gaming industry, where we're having people saber rattling for war in a time where there's free access to social media.
Well, social media have access, and frankly, all coverage, all trends, and algorithm will go straight to that. You may say that you have to improve your title, your thumbnail, but look, whatever we do, doesn't matter if our title is long or short, or our thumbnail is good or anything, or people click or not. The problem is, what's happening with that war is actually taking all trends away from small creators. And yes, we can trust the process because we know that the coverage will last, at least after the first 2 weeks, at least. I don't know, I'm just predicting. Every time when it happens, I get barely less views. I'm not complaining, but I'm proud to have all of you here, but sometimes I feel like all the view counts, the algorithm doesn't promote my video every time the war started. Well, yes, there were times where I did get a lot of views, mainly during my Marvel Spider-Man theory video. Well, it got me 10,000 views in 2 months, which that's okay, and gave me another 20 plus subs. It's good for me. Sadly, every small creators, the only thing they can do, if they don't cover stuff like the Israel-Iran war, they just have to hope for the best, keep creating, hope that the situation dies down. Now, I'm gonna skip to this. There's a lot I have to do this. I'm not gonna react to all of it. Let's look what the government would say.
The MAGA movement back in 2015, where you have the campaign manager for that movement, Steve Bannon, talking about how he took cues from the gamers on how to express and message ideals. And he even went as far as getting groups of gamers to support the ideals and causes, specifically with World of Warcraft. And you hear this with Steve Bannon talking about taking that intensity from young men and using that as a weapon. And this is back in 2015 he was doing this, 2014 and 15. And this is an ideal that even went back farther than that. During the Iraq War, we had video games making messaging games with Call of Duty, with Battlefield, that are highly focused on making American warfare a high focus goal and an achievement for any youngster out there. And I think that is the thing we usually see. I don't want to see this as something that's out of left field. It makes sense to do that for a military to increase inscription, but that was the thing that's happening. And now I see it happening with the gaming world. We see this with U.S. government funding, investing in counter disinformation for video games. We saw this with Dustborn. We saw this with a whole host of other games like Flintlock and a bunch of other titles that had government backing and support.
To those games that are government funded, yeah, you don't deserve any of our money. Go to hell.
Sense where these games are being used as disinformation campaigns against entire governments. That's what people were saying in Japan about Assassin's Creed Shadows, where it was subverting the entire history of Japan to make Japan a black African slave country when there were 0% black African slaves. You only had one that was a visitor there for 1 year that went back to Portugal. I think that is the situation people are mad about, where gaming is being used as information warfare to subvert your minds and support causes that have nothing to do with your intention of playing video games. And it seems like multiple governments understand that's the case, and that's why you hear Putin ordering Russian government to make large investments into video games, because video games is the route of propaganda right now. It's the focus and highly conducive form to actually get people to accept your narrative structure.
And the also thing we need to know is that any good video games, they'll be shoved aside. Propaganda games will be put to the front and center, while the good games, well, yes, some will get attraction, some will gain a million or something. Most of the time, these kind of games, they'll be shoved aside. I'm 100% certain that any game that doesn't involve propaganda or anything will be shoved aside. So far, it doesn't happen. Like, for example, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is doing good. I mean, what else? Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, doing good as well. Monster Hunter Wild. I mean, I can list this on, but we will be here all day. Let's see this.
Have to keep in mind, we're in a place where everything is a battlefield. There will be no rest, no matter what, if you're playing video games, because people see how valuable it is. They want to get your attention, and this is the best way to them. And I think we're going to see it from both sides. It's not going to just be the progressive liberals and their ideals about racial, gender issues, communism. No, it's going to be the warmongers, the warhawks, the people that want to control your body and mind when it comes to warfare. And I think that's the thing we're seeing play out nowadays in the market, where war is on the mind of the people. So the message has to get out there to the gamers that get ready for war, because your body might be out there fighting in a battlefield.
For me, I'm just minding my own business. We're just making gaming content. Even if I do make gaming content, all trends that are not going to go to the gamers, all of it will go to the Israel-Iran war. Every creator who doesn't cover this, and I know some creators, or perhaps any creators, never ever covers the war. They just do their own thing. We all receive an advice from tutorial channels to keep creating. Trust the process. I trust the process. Right now, my second channel is about 436 subs, almost close to 500, the first milestone. I don't even know when I'm going to get monetized at this point. But frankly, I don't mind. I just do what I do best. Create content, keep creating, and hopefully the right audience, they will come. You just have to trust the process. It may be a fool's hope, like Gandalf Graham would say, but in the end, small creators, they always have to do what they do best. Keep creating. And I know there's still more small creators coming in YouTube every single day. There's always one.
So, about that noise we heard on the Airborne Squad channel,
Yes?
I analysed the pattern, and the noise translates kill me.
Well, we'll find out more once we get to the source of the contaminate. I wonder what it means.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topic. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.